everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. I thought you might enjoy looking at the beautiful trees behind me. I tell you, this is my time of year. I had so much fun today. Mr. Re-Written and I are trying to learn some new homesteading skills, and we went to our first beekeeping class, and we have 2 more to go this season and then 3 in the spring when we welcome our hive here to the homestead. And so I've got some short videos and pictures I'll show you guys, but it was so much fun. And that's what homesteading is about, is you don't have to live on a big piece of property, but if you don't know how to do certain skills like candle making, starting a fire, canning, cooking from scratch, you should learn how to do those things and save yourself some money and become more self-sufficient. Today, I wanted to talk about the love of my life, which is Indian corn. Indian corn and pumpkins go hand in hand with fall. And this year is my 3rd year that I've grown Indian corn. And it's always been my goal to have just beautiful Indian corn. And it gives me a close connection to my ancestors. However, just like the rest of you guys, and like I talked about learning new skills, I'm learning as I go. My first year, I had a really good crop where the ears were long and sturdy, and they had nice, thick tops. The next year, I wanted to try something different, so I switched to gem corn, which is more of a jeweled kind of look of corn. And while the gem corn is very pretty to look at because it does have, I don't know if you guys can see it very well, I hope so. The little kernels are really shiny, and that's why they call it gem corn. They're really pretty, and they come in pastel colors too. I have some pink here, some white, but they're definitely a smaller ear than the regular Indian corn. And so last year I planted this and popcorn. And my popcorn turned out excellent. And this turned out pretty too, but I wanted the bigger ears. So this year I planted my seed that I had from the first year. I planted popcorn and I planted my gem corn. Well, my gem corn I put over on another field, thinking I would be safe. And I put the popcorn and my regular Indian corn in the same field. Should not have done that because the popcorn is a small plant. It's even smaller than your gem corn. And of course, you know, they visited with each other. And my corn didn't turn out so great. I don't think that was the whole issue, but I do think it played a part. And I should have known better because the farmer seed, you guys see them, those rows are like this, so that they can get a bigger yield in a limited space. And so that's what I'm thinking I could do here. But what they're growing is a hybrid. And it's been bred year after year after year to produce bigger, sturdier, disease-resistant, sweeter ears of corn in little spaces, right? What I'm growing is a true seed. So I'm not growing a hybrid. I'm growing heirloom. And so they should actually be spread about 3 feet apart. And I should have known that better because they have huge root systems that spread for oxygen, okay? And if you plant them too close together, they don't get the oxygen that they need, and you're just asking for disease. So between putting my popcorn with my Indian corn and planting too close together, I think that's what the problem was. So next year, totally separate and a lot further apart. I also think there's some minerals that are missing in my soil. It's the first year for that particular plot. So I'm going to take a soil sample to my cooperative extension here in town and have them test it for me. And I'll let you guys know what I find out. A lot to learn in my farming practices. I did still end up with some beautiful corn, and I'm happy about that. And so Indian corn is also known as flint corn. And I had someone ask me, other than decorative, what is it good for? Well, this can be ground down and made into cornmeal. You guys think back into history. How did the Native Americans make their flatbreads and things that they ate? It was with cornmeal. And also, too, you can pop this just like popcorn, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. But let's talk about decorating with these. Now, I have these outside, inside, but if I'm going to do something outside, you can either use a pile of 2 or 3. If you get beyond 3, it's usually too heavy. But I take twine, just your hemp twine like this that you can get at any craft sale, and I tie them together up at the top by the husks. I think I'll put 3 in here. They would look prettier. Just into a knot. Like that. Now I've already crisscrossed it once, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the back here and do it again so that's nice and sturdy. You want your string to be kind of long so that you can tie it around a post or whatever you're going to tie it around. So I've crossed it across the back, and I'm going to tie it in a knot here. I still have enough string to hang it with, and there you go. So you have a nice little arrangement here of 2 or 3 that you can hang on a post. Or you can lay them in your house somewhere, which is what I've done. I make jewelry out of the, and I've seen, boy, there are some people that are so talented. But this is one of the necklaces that I made. And so when you want to make jewelry out of your Native American Indian corn, you take the kernels off the cob, you soak these for about 2 days until they get soft. Then you just take a regular string, and like I have this very thin hemp string, and I'll take a needle, go right through the middle of them, and just keep sewing. Now, these are going to stretch over time because the corn is going to get drier and drier and shrink and shrink. So if you're thinking about making these or earrings or something like that to sell, you're going to really need them to dry out for a year. So go ahead and make your jewelry. Let them dry out for a year or so that you can adjust the string the next year and adjust the clamps the next year, and then you have your finished product. And I like to add little charms and things to mine, but I love wearing these on Thanksgiving. I think they're really pretty. You've also seen probably people that get the big beads and they lay those over books, or like you can do the same thing with these. They look really pretty just laid over something for Thanksgiving or for fall. I wanted to talk to you guys about keeping your husks. So when you are done with your corn, you can keep your husks, and you can do a fun project with the grandkids and with your kids by making Native American Indian corn dolls. And this is something that they used to do because, you know, they didn't have material and thread and sewing machines and porcelain that came along later. So the toys that the kids played with were all made from natural materials. So I thought I'd show you how to do that today. And the first thing I did was soak my husks for only like 20 minutes, just so that they're more pliable and they're not dry. And we're going to start first with the head. So you're going to need some thin string. Like I said, you can get this real thin jute string that's sturdy, or you can just use regular sewing string or yarn, a little styrofoam ball, and your nice moist husks. I'm going to take my ball here. I'm going to put it in the middle of a moist husk like this. fold it over just a little bit so that I have more of a flat little surface. Then I'm going to take my string and I'm just going to tie that around the base, okay? So I'll show you guys in just a minute. And you know, you can keep adding on to these. If you think you don't have enough of one thing and too much of another, you can just keep adding on more husks. So there you go. I've got that. And I'm going to add an extra layer of husk across the top just to smooth that out a bit. And I will also put I think I'm going to put a little hat on her. So that'll help too. Okay, like a popsicle or like a sucker. Now, as you have your doll's head tied together at the neck with a front and a back. So I'm going to add some arms. So I just took a long piece of husk here, and I'm going to get it to the length that I like. And twist it. And fold it over again, because I want it to be nice and sturdy arms. Like this. So I've made a bit of a rope. Now you're going to have a front flap and a back flap. And I'm just going to stick it behind the back flap like this. Okay, so as you can see, there's the little arms, okay? My little head and my little arms. Looks like my corn split right there, but that's okay because I'm going to put a hat on her. Just like that. So now I want to add a pretty little skirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the longer pieces here. I have a lot of hot rodders out here tonight. You may hear. And I'm just going to take her little thing like this. Okay, I'm going to take these pieces of husks and I'm going to go work my way all around. Do you see? I'm just holding them in place with my finger now. Still working my way around so that I have a skirt. Okay? Then I'm going to tie this to the body that I had, the little bitty body I had. And that'll be her skirt. We'll add a hat and an apron and some hair next. Now you can keep working with her skirt and making it as full as you would like. And people get really fancy with these. As they start drying out somewhat, you can take a curling iron and take it and just lightly flip these up so that they're a little ruffled. But so I think so far she looks adorable. So now I'm going to take a piece of corn stalk, husk, and I'm going to split it down the middle to make her apron. So to make the apron, I took two pieces of husk, and I'm putting them across her chest in a V, in an X. So you can see just like that. Fold them over her shoulders. And that's the top of the apron. Then I'm going to take a smaller piece like this. And it's going to go lengthwise across her body where the other one's all hung down straight. This one's going to go across like this. So now I have two arms, an apron top, a little apron, and the bottom of her dress. And so I'm going to trim up this dress. You guys, you can use pinking shears if you want to make it a little fancier. I like mine to look really rustic. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim wherever I want. Like that. And I'm going to work it with my fingers just a little bit because when it dries, I want it to be crinkly looking and a little rustic. Now, when you are taking your corn apart, don't forget to save the silk because that's what you can use for hair if you would like to. See? So you can take the silk from the corn. You can braid it if you have a lot of it, make ponytails, or just give her a little bit of hair like that. And glue that on top. And then we're going to add the little bonnet. For the little bonnet, you just take a thin strip of the husk and put it around her little ears so they don't get cold. Isn't that cute? And then I'm going to tie that around there. She's almost done. And there she is. And there she is. If you wanted to get real fancy, you could put an eyes, nose, and a mouth on her, but I like to leave them rustic looking. Now, she's going to dry stiff, and the more I work with it as it's drying, it'll get even curlier and more rustic. I would probably, this is her back, and I would probably add some silk there to the back so that it's coming out of her hair. But isn't she cute? So see, from an ear or two of Indian corn, we're able to have popcorn, we're able to make jewelry, we're able to make a doll with our children or our grandkids, and we're able to decorate. So that's why I love this versatile vegetable so much. To make popcorn, we're going to take a paper bag, just like you put your lunch in. We're going to add a tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons of popcorn, and put it in the microwave at the popcorn setting, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're done.